just you. Come on in. Welcome to the Scumm Bar.
Welcome to Scumm Bar Podcast, episode 72, where we talk movies, video games, pop culture, books, Roger, and everything in between. I'm your host, Mattbrush, and with me today, a Rogery Dodgery Roger himself.
Roger. It's Anth0z. Oh, jeez, I sound so bad right now. Okay, hi, it's Anth0z. Hi, everybody.
They actually do talk, though, don't they? Like, they do say Roger a lot, but they also do talk, I think.
Yeah, they give, like... Okay, I don't think they're supposed to feel fear, but it sounds like sometimes they do. Like, they get scared when, like, a Jedi's approaching them or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're very strange.
Very strange, yeah. Continuity error, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe something? I don't know. Yeah.
Anyways, welcome, Anth0z, to the Scumm Bar Podcast.
Thanks. You too.
Listener, if you're just tuning in, also be sure to check out our other podcast, the Marvel Movie Marathon, where we go over the 22 films in the first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can check out all of our talks on Thanos and the Infinity Stones there. Otherwise, you can hang out here with us talking about just whatever. This is our whatever podcast.
Yeah, where we talk about Roger, apparently.
Apparently.
Just the words, Roger.
I was like writing that, and I was like, what should I put in it? I was like, I don't know. I'll just put
Roger. Because you wanted to find a word, so you found a word, and you thought you'd say it twice.
The word's so nice, I said it twice.
Kit Kat.
Yeah.
But Kit.
Anth0z, what's new with you?
Well, what is new with me?
Since the last time I saw you, what's been new?
Probably a lot of things, but it's all a blur. I probably done some stuff and went places.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh, okay. So my wife and I finished watching Dark. The German
Oh,
the
yeah,
German
you
show
were
on
talking
Netflix.
about that last time.
And
yeah.
So first 2 seasons, great. Third season, so confused. It just got so convoluted, and it got to a point where I was so distracted by trying to understand what was happening that I forgot, or I just wasn't as involved with the main story. So I don't know if that's just me, or maybe if other people feel the same way. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed watching it, and it's nice being able to watch something that's just so it's only 3 seasons. It's like it's kind of nice to watch something that's 3 seasons because then you can finish it all and you don't have to worry about like catching up with more episodes. At the same time, if it's really good, you obviously want to watch more. So I'm good with 3 seasons for this one. And we also finished watching the first season of The Handmaid's Tale, and we watched the first couple episodes of season 2. And man, just the first episode of season 2, and it was like so explosive. It was. I'm so looking forward to watching more of that show. It's really good.
Nice. I've heard good things.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Both that and Dark. I recommend watching both. Dark is probably more along the lines of like trendy, like time displacement kind of themes. So
okay.
Yeah, if you're into that, watch it. And then if you're also into watching things that are relevant based on what's happening today, then watch The Handmaid's Tale.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I'll check them out. And for myself, I just went camping recently. That was interesting. Got to go up to a nice camp here on Vancouver Island. And a nice lake, I should say. There was a campsite there. That was really fun. I haven't gone camping in a long time, so it was nice to get out, get all relaxed. Get under the stars, get away from the technologies of the world.
Yep.
Get under the stars.
Get away from the stars, yeah.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of stars up there. It's nice.
Oh, so were you able to see like a lot? Like there's no light pollution around where you were camping?
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then we had a propane fireplace instead of a campfire, which I haven't done that very often. Normally we have the campfire, but it was expensive for firewood and all that, and we brought up our propane fire pit. And propane seems really cheap right now.
Did you say you brought your own fire pit?
Yeah, a propane one.
Oh, cool.
So it's just like this propane-powered fire pit. And yeah, we filled up the propane tank earlier, and it was half full, and we filled it up for $8. So I was like, that's really cheap. So we decided to just make sure it's a full tank and then take that with us. So then we did one night with the propane tank, and we had it on for a long time, and then it was half full. So during the camping trip, we decided to go and fill it up again, and again, it was $8. I was like, wow, propane's really, like, the whole tank must be like $16 then. So, yeah, I don't know. I was just shocked how cheap that was. So, yeah, I like the propane fire because you don't smell like campfire in the end, which I don't mind the smell of campfire, but it is also a bonus where you don't smell like it.
Yeah.
And it's clean. There's no smoke. So it's just this nice, clean fire that's there. I just really like it.
Oh, that's cool. I should try that. But you can't barbecue on that, can you? Like, you had a separate grill?
You can't necessarily... Well, you can't barbecue on it, no, but you can roast if you want to.
Yeah, you can roast, yeah.
Yeah, so we roasted, like, wieners and, like, marshmallows. You just gotta be careful because, like, you're using the same rocks every time in the propane fire pit and all that, so you want to just try to be as clean as you can.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal, though. But, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what I did.
Nice.
Camping. It's fun.
Yeah, that's good.
And I just got back. I literally just got back today. Like, I had to drive in, get everything done, like, all the tents dried out and folded and put away and all that kind of stuff just before this podcast, too. So I was really rushing for this.
Yeah. Just in time.
I made it.
Just for the podcast. Left camping early.
Just here.
Yeah.
I'm here just for y'all. Yeah. Just for all y'all.
And also just in time for a big day coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a big old day tomorrow. It is my birthday.
That's right. It's that day.
That's that time of year
day cometh.
again.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm turning 29. The big 2-9.
Cool.
Big Tudor Niner.
Tudor 29er. Tudor. I don't know. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, you're getting old when you don't want to do anything for your birthday. You just want to chill.
I was just going to ask if you have any plans, but okay.
I just want to relax.
Yeah.
I don't want to see people. I just want to hang out at home.
That's totally fair because sometimes it's not that it's not fun to celebrate. It's just it can be, if you're the person who's always, I guess, planning it, it can be kind of overwhelming trying to make sure that, it all goes according to plan and you want to make sure everybody else has a good time. There's a lot of weight on it if it, for one person. So if you're able to split that amongst people, then sure, great. But when you're not able to, it can be kind of difficult.
With COVID on, and also I'm on my week off for vacation, I don't know. I just got back from camping, so it's like perfect timing for me to just want to sit at my house, be at my house, have time to just be with my house.
Yes.
And my fiance and my dog.
Yep.
That's just really all I want.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good week off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Get projects done. Anyways, let's get into a topic here that I like to call Ye Old News.
Cool. Ye Old News. So I do have some news.
What is the news?
It's probably the same as your news.
It probably is.
I see my notes and I see your notes.
And I've only got two things written down.
And they are the same and they overlap.
So
yeah, I'll just start us off by saying that DC. Actually, I don't even know what it's called. DC Fandome.
DC Fandome.
So DC Fandom Day, I guess, or just DC Fandom event, where they just announced a whole bunch of stuff, and there's a whole bunch of trailers for movies and video games and pop culture and books and Roger and everything in between. And it's just there's tons of stuff. And I'm actually really confused about some of the things that are going on, but yeah. So off the top of my head, let's see, trailers. There was Black Adam. There was Wonder Woman. Wait, did they call this one Wonder Woman 1984? They do, right?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Okay. Or maybe I'm confusing this one with the last one. I can't even remember when the other one took place. But so Black Adam.
World War I, I think.
Oh, so that's definitely not 1984.
No.
Okay. So yeah, so Black Adam, Wonder Woman, 1984.
It's still called 1984.
Okay. Yeah. There's a new Batman trailer so we finally see a little bit more Robert Pattinson. There was a Justice League trailer, which is the Zack Snyder cut, which
Zack Snyder.
Sorry, Jack Snyder. I was thinking Jack Kirby. Zack Snyder. And I think what I was confused about with this one was it had the HBO Max logo on it. So
Yeah, I saw that.
so does that mean it's gonna be straight to the streaming service and not?
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Okay, so they're not hoping to do like a theatrical release.
I don't think it's a theatrical release of this. No, I believe that this is just kind of HBO exclusive that you get to watch through their online service.
That's crazy, because like with that cast and with that production value, I feel like they'd want to get all that back with the theatrical release, wouldn't they?
I guess, but it's not necessarily like they reshoot. Like, maybe I'm wrong on this, but did they not reshoot things? Like, or did they not need to reshoot things?
Oh, did they not? Okay, so maybe that's what I was confused about, because it's like it's the Zack Snyder's version of what he wanted the DC movie, like the Justice League movie, to be like.
Yeah, I was under the impression this is using all the footage that was cut out from the original movie. It's pretty much a glorified extended Justice League movie, but changed with alternate scenes. So it doesn't have all the same scenes from the original, and they've used heavy effects to be able to finish the shots from the Zack Snyder's original shots.
Okay, so then there must be editing, because there's no way they would have like finished all that extra footage. Because it seems like just from the trailer alone, there's a lot of extra footage that wasn't from the original
Well,
movie.
it's because it was a different ending. The way Zack Snyder had it was like a different story with a different ending. So there's a lot of footage, like a whole bunch of footage left over. So using all that footage, stitching it together, they were able to finish the movie. But I happen to know somebody in the industry who was working on the film and talking about the effects done. And they were just talking about how most of it is just all the effects. It's all done in post.
Okay.
Like most of what this Zack Snyder cut is just done in post. So I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe that they had to do reshoots at all. I don't think they got anybody back from the cast for that.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean it shouldn't be a theater film, but I just think that this isn't something they're looking for a theater release. I think they're just trying to do it as a streaming release only.
Yeah, okay, then I think maybe the reason, like, I thought this was actually going to be like a completely different movie, but maybe that's why I was so confused, that it's just a recut version of what was already released.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like I said, it's a glorified extended version, but with an alternate cut in it. So, I've never seen this happen where a movie comes out and it's re-edited. Like I've seen director's cuts. There's director's cuts to movies all the time where it's a little bit different with like different music thrown in, but this is just very strange.
Yeah. Okay, well that clears that up. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And that's my understanding of it. I could still be a little off on that, but
so I also read regarding that release is going to be split into 4 hour-long parts. And then eventually,
is it that long?
Supposedly, yeah.
Holy smokes!
And then later, I don't know how much later, but then eventually it'll be released as one long movie.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to watch that one day.
See, and okay, so I'm trying to think back to when I even watched when I watched the Justice League movie, and I probably had it on, but I wasn't entirely paying attention to it because it just didn't seem that great. Yeah. I don't know.
I saw it in theaters.
And were you happy with it?
No, I got lost so much. I could not keep up with the plot. It wasn't making sense. Yeah. Oh well. Anyways, maybe this 4 hour cut will make it make more sense.
Maybe. Or you'll be more confused.
Or I'll be more excited about the Batman movie coming out with Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Yeah. This was weird. I'm excited for Robert Pattinson to play Batman. This trailer, it's not that it didn't look bad. It just was different to what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So it is more like Christopher Nolan. It seems it's very dark and gritty. It seems like it's trying to be more real. It looks like the villain is the Riddler. I could be wrong,
Riddler.
but it seems like it's the Riddler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the Riddler himself is nothing like what I know the Riddler to be. I think of like Jim Carrey as the Riddler. So this was like a dark, like thuggish kind of Riddler.
He almost seemed to me like it had some sort of Joker influence, like the Riddler's character.
Yes, yeah, they made him similar to the Joker.
Yeah, because I don't know, something about his. I can't remember the whole trailer now, but some parts of what we saw about him, it kind of reminded me of like Joker's maniacal mentality. And Riddler, like he's a pretty sane person, right? And I think he's just very. I think he's just like a pretty witty person, or witty or smart or something like that. And I wasn't getting the sense of that same kind of wit from the trailer. So I don't know. It could just be that the trailer isn't giving us all that we're going to get from the actual character.
Right.
But still, it just makes me feel kind of odd about it.
Yes. And we didn't get to see Robert Pattinson talk all that much. And when he did, it was actually cut weirdly in the trailer, so it wasn't actually when he was talking in the movie. So his mouth wasn't. There was one where like his mouth wasn't even moving. It like did the audio over of like him saying the line. And I was like, that's weird. That didn't even happen in that moment. But okay. And so I was really excited to see him talk and be like the Batman, but it was just kind of like there.
Yeah.
It also was very much like Christian Bale, so it kind of seemed like just watching a watered down version of like The Dark Knight.
A little bit, yeah.
And now all that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just these are first impressions of this whole thing. But then we saw Catwoman is apparently in this.
Oh yeah, right.
And I also didn't like that because I was like, this is maybe people don't want a standalone Batman film, but I wanted it to just be the Batman, like get me back into like Gotham and like just Batman and Gotham and all that. Like that's what I was really excited for. And like just with Catwoman, I was like, oh, it's extended universe stuff right now. I was like, maybe not yet. You know, was kind of what I was thinking. And it seemed like almost, it feels from that trailer, I could be wrong, but it feels from that trailer like the two of them are teaming up for the big baddie at the end. I was like, yeah, maybe it'd be better if she's like in it a little bit, but I don't really want her to be like his sidekick already. Yeah, you know?
And also, didn't we get a glimpse of the Penguin a few times?
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so there was another kind of like cackling like figure there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess there's going to be some sort of like team up collab, probably between like Catwoman and Batman versus Penguin and the Riddler. I guess, even though the Riddler seems to be the one pulling most of the strings. I don't know. I guess we'll find out more.
Also,
later.
Maybe you know. I don't know. But was that Joaquin Phoenix as the mayor? There was like a mayor-like figure, and I thought it was Joaquin Phoenix, but I only saw it for like a second. So
I don't think
it can't be though, because everyone's hoping that Joaquin Phoenix is Joker, right? So
yeah. I mean, I don't think it was.
I really hope it's not, but we only saw it for like a second, and I was like, that better not be Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't think it was, but I'd have to watch it all over again. But that would be very weird. Although I'm not really sure what they're doing with the whole universe, like with the Joker. Like that was supposed to be kind of like on its own. Like that they weren't ever going to combine the Joker with any of the subsequent DC movies, right? Was that the plan? I thought that was the plan.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be standalone, but still, I think people were hoping, or at least I was kind of hoping maybe it would be connected. I am just reading the listing right now. There's another Sarsgaard, Peter Sarsgaard. Who's this?
Yeah, it doesn't. I forgot that Stellan is Stellan the dad?
Bill? No, Bill is one of the younger brothers, and Alex is the other brother. Alexander Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård are the younger brothers. Then the dad is Dr. Eric Selvig in
Eric Selvig's
Thor movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't remember his name. You might be right.
I thought.
But anyways, there's another one here. Peter Sarsgaard. I don't know if he's related, though.
I swear it was Stellan Stellan. Or Stellan. But I thought he had 3. He has 8 kids.
Oh my gosh. No way. Holy smokes.
Oh, that's
anyways, cool. So it's definitely not Joaquin Phoenix, so that's good. So,
okay.
First thing, awesome.
Great.
Not Joaquin Phoenix there, so there's still a shot.
Perfect. Great.
Next thing I'm noticing is, we saw James Gordon for a second there, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
In the trailer. It was cool. He looked like Gordon to me. That was cool. I didn't mind it. But it looks like Paul Dano is the Riddler. Now, Paul Dano's a really good actor. I liked him in There Will Be Blood. That was like his big movie.
Let's see.
I really liked him in that.
Looking through the cast. Oh, right. It was Zoe Kravitz that's playing Catwoman. That's Paul Dano. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's very good. And I didn't realize this. Colin Farrell is apparently the Penguin.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we did see the Penguin there, but I didn't think it looked like Colin Farrell at all. But apparently that's him, is the Penguin.
Wow, that's a lot of makeup.
Yeah, good for him. And then last but not least, we got Andy Serkis as Alfred. Which I didn't know either. So that's a great Alfred.
Oh, that's an interesting choice. I'm so used to seeing Andy Serkis play like all different kinds of like very spastic and chaotic kind of characters.
Yes.
So I wonder what. Well, yeah. And then also in I was gonna say in the Wakanda movie, the Black Panther movie, and then he's also is he Koba in Planet of the Apes. So I'm curious what kind of character we're gonna get for Alfred. Like, is it gonna be more of like that laid back, sophisticated type, or is it gonna be more like a hands-on, dirty kind of like Daniel Craig Bond sort of sophisticated Alfred, so that'll be interesting. Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But he was more subdued in the Kong movie, King Kong, when he played the chef on the ship. He was definitely more just like a character in that, like a real person.
Oh, I totally do not remember that, but okay. I might not have even
Well,
seen
he
it.
also played Kong, I guess, but still, he was he was the chef.
Oh, Carmine Falcone. Wow, there's a lot of... Holy.
John Turturro.
Interesting.
So just for the audience, just so that they understand as well, like we came into this pretty blind, so that's why we're just now discovering the cast.
Yeah, and okay, so this is also just based off my my very minimal knowledge of watching the show Gotham, because I've watched maybe like 5 or 6 episodes and I just couldn't keep watching. But the cast, like the characters that are in this, are pretty much the characters that were in Gotham. So
yeah,
it seems like it seems like it'll be a very, I don't know, like Gotham-esque movie.
Well, I guess Gotham did really well, and people were really hoping that Gotham was going to eventually become like full canon, I guess, for like the movies. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe now they're just kind of like, oh, we'll just roll with that and kind of continue on where Gotham left off.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, not totally, obviously, but like a little bit. And then it looks like, yeah, the Batman.
Okay. Well,
it looks interesting. I think that he looks like a decent Batman. I do like the shot with like the heavy eyeliner and stuff like that. It looks quite rough.
The eyeliner to me is kind of weird. I don't know. I guess like because when I picture Batman going out, like you know the real Batman when he gets ready to go out fight crime, he'll put on a suit. Yeah. I guess I just don't picture him having the time to put on like just smudge his eyes full of black and then put his mask on. It just seems like why do we need to have like any kind of focus on what he does with his face? You know?
Well, I think it's more because you have to wear like when you put the darkness under your eyelids or around your eyes like that, it's for light.
So he wants to be seen more in the light?
No, he wants to see more in the dark.
Wait, that's how it works, really?
I believe so. It's why football players wear the eyeliner under their eyes when they're playing. I think it's for light. I could be wrong, but there's a reasoning for that for your eyesight.
But then he also wears a mask. Shouldn't that do the same thing?
Maybe. Like, I'm not sure.
What? You should know these answers, Mattbrush.
Well, hold on. The mask has a big hole cut out in the eye, does it not?
Yeah, but like, shouldn't it? Okay, wait.
So his eyelid is still exposed, is it not?
Robert Pattinson, Batman, costume, face shot. I want to see how his face looks. Let's see. They showed something in the trailer, didn't they? Like a little bit of his face.
I think they showed. Yeah, they showed his suit, just not close up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna give it to you for now. But when we watch the movie, I'm gonna tell you.
Oh yeah, there's his suit.
You're wrong.
You're actually kind of right. The eyes are quite small on his suit. But it's also a half mask, which is very interesting. You see his full chin. So he's got the very Batman-esque chin.
Oh, the one where it's kind of like the Wolverine mask.
Yeah, like exactly. Which is interesting, because I think that's kind of the cartoon Batman was like that too, was it not?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then he's got those crazy chins, right? He's just got those really broad chins. Well, actually, Robert Pattinson's got not a bad chin for this. He's got like the quite squared off chin.
I think he's got a good nose for it too.
He's got the nose for Batman.
He's got Batman's nose. Born with it.
I honestly don't mind the costume. Looking at it now, I actually think it's pretty dope. He's got a cape. He's got the bat symbol, which looks pretty much the same. It's a little different, but it's pretty much the same.
Let's see.
And then he's got just a different kind of thing. Right. I don't know. It's not a bad setup.
Okay, wait. I gotta scrub through this. Oh, there. I see him. I see him.
Do you see the Joaquin Phoenix like guy? He's right after the reveal shot, and I don't know who it is, but I just thought it was Joaquin Phoenix.
Is this at like just after a minute? Oh no, that's Commissioner.
It's Gordon. At 55 seconds.
55. So when he's talking to...
There's a mayor-like character. He's at a bunch of microphones.
Oh, like, yeah, bigger guy.
Yeah.
He reminds me of...
I don't know why. I just thought that was Joaquin Phoenix. I'm glad it's not.
Yeah.
But I thought it was.
I think I might have gotten confused. Like, oh wait, is that really Commissioner Gordon? But then no, it's not. Anyway. So yeah, there's this movie. And
this will be a movie that we will see. I mean, this is honestly, I will see this in trailers. I will see this in theaters. Like this looks good enough to me.
Release date October 1st, 2021. Well, if theaters are good to go by then, yeah, I'll watch it in theaters.
Yeah, true.
Um,
It's not that it doesn't look as good as a Dark Knight film, but it doesn't look bad. It's definitely worth my time, at least, to go see.
yeah, no, it doesn't look bad. Like I'm intrigued. And I also can't tell. Wait, I don't know if I just haven't really paid attention, but maybe I just can't really tell what the plot is. You know?
Yeah, that's true. I think they're trying to keep it quite vague for now.
Yeah,
though.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give less away and then more surprise when we actually watch the movie. But okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all the news I had was just those two. Was the DC one and the Batman one. I didn't know about the Black Adam trailer or the Wonder Woman one.
The Water Woman, yeah. She's
The Water
yeah,
Woman.
sequel. That's the partner for
Aquaman.
Water Woman.
Water Woman.
Oh boy. Aquaman and Water Woman. Boy. So the Wonder Woman trailer, or the Water Woman trailer, is oh geez, like I watched them all like with some friends, and it was just like in the middle of like a hangout night, and they're kind of just like gone completely over my head. I totally forgot what happened. But the Black Adam trailer, so it wasn't too much. It was pretty much just like a narrated thing, like where he's kind of talking about how he like, is he talking about maybe how he gets the powers, or like what he plans to do with the powers, or like responsibilities of having these powers.
Right.
But they didn't really reveal too much because it was almost like it was like an animated trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which almost looked like it could have been like a really cool revealed trailer for like a next coming like comic arc for something. And then for Wonder Woman, I remember that Chris Pine is in it, and Gal Gadot is in it still as Wonder Woman, and I don't remember anything else. Oh, I remember she has her lasso, and she swings by catching lightning with her lasso, which is very weird to me. I don't know if she's ever done that in the comics, but it's very, I don't know. Like, I guess it's a cool idea, but maybe it would have been better if it was somebody else doing it. I remember now. Kristen Wiig is in it, and she's like Diana's old best friend or something.
Oh.
Where she is like that cat lady. She's the crazy cat lady, and she comes to town looking for her cats.
Ooh.
And then they square off because Wonder Woman is into dogs. And that's the trailer.
That's the plot.
The whole movie. Yeah, so don't bother watching it. I just described it to you.
Okay. I did hear from a friend, he was saying that the woman who makes the Wonder Woman movies, she was saying that due to COVID and due to the length of time now with, working on these movies and the delays and whatnot, they've been able to re-edit Wonder Woman and almost give it a new kind of theme.
Oh.
So I think it's really interesting. It's like, when a movie's in the post-processing portion long enough, there's so much of the movie that's made in the edit.
Yeah.
That they've actually altered and changed the movie now. Okay. That it's been so long, they actually have morphed into something even better.
Okay.
Which almost goes to say something about movies. It's like, if you take a little bit more time with them, how much better could they be, right?
Yeah, no, that's very true. And it also depends on the style of movie or like the genre, right? Because with something where you're basing it off superheroes and comics and things like that, like it's going to be heavily post-production because like you can't physically get Gal Gadot to like swing on lightning, right? So there's going to be a lot of post editing. Whereas if you have something like, what's another movie that, like Phone Booth, for example.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell in the phone booth, like it's all on
Penguin
on
in a
set.
booth.
Yeah, right. So, yeah. But no, I totally agree. Like it goes to show that if you with more time, then you can definitely have like a completely different product, which could help. But I guess it also depends on maybe the director goes with their gut and like I'm sure there's a lot of factors to it. But yeah. What other trailers? So Black Adam, Wonder Woman, Batman. They also revealed a bunch of video game trailers. So there's one that is like Gotham Knights, for example.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so that one, it kind of showed off the ability to play, I think, as Robin, as any of the Robins actually, and and Batwoman, or is she Batgirl? I can't remember. Bat female, and and the main. Oh, I think the main villain might also be the Riddler. So maybe they're just trying to kind of like get the hype up for the Riddler as this antagonist.
Ooh, maybe.
And then
So this is off of the back of Arkham. What was the last one? Arkham Knight,
maybe.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arkham Knight.
It was Arkham Asylum, then Arkham City, then Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
And this is Gotham Knights. There's also Arkham Origins, but that game gets kind of thrown under the bus sometimes.
Oh, okay. Because it wasn't as good.
It was made by a different studio, and it's not necessarily bad. It's just that since it's not made by Warner Brothers, I believe they had licensed it out. It is just different.
Okay.
I guess, and it's also an origin story, so
Right.
it's pretty cool, kind of.
Okay. And then I'm not sure if they've ever really done this with any of the previous Batman games, but they're going to have the Court of Owls in this, which to me, when I read about the Court of Owls I think I read them for the first time in the New 52, and they seem like a really cool pseudo underground yet sophisticated tech, or sophisticated enough like cult where it's like a whole bunch of rich people, and they gather and they wear those like what's that mask where it's like got like a long, I think they have like owl masks.
The plague mask.
Yeah, plague masks. So it's
Plague
kind of
Doctor?
like they're wearing
Yeah.
plague masks, but they're more shaped like an owl, so like smaller beak.
Oh.
And then I think they have these they have like their soldiers who are like in coffins that are just like absorbing all this serum that just makes them strong. And I think they're kind of just bent on taking down Batman or taking over Gotham or something. As is every
I'm
other.
just checking out some photos now, and I love the concept of them. They seem really cool.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's going to be something that is introduced in this game or I don't know, introduced, but in this game. So looks really cool. It makes me want to read more into Court of Owls. I totally forgot that they were a thing. And yeah,
It looks really good. I love the art on it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that's pretty much my news. It's just a whole bunch of DC news stuff. Because I felt
lots of DC stuff.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I would love for DC to start doing some good movies and stuff.
Yeah. But it just seems to me like, I don't know how much they're focusing on movies as so much as they're focusing on other stuff. Like, when you look at the streaming services, for example, obviously Disney Plus has all the Marvel-related stuff. When you go onto Prime Video, you can catch some DC. When you go to Netflix, you can catch some DC. So it's separated. It's kind of dispersed a little bit more. But then there's also a difference in whether they focus on their animated movies versus their live action movies. And I find DC animated movies are very well done. Yeah, like you can watch like any of like the Batman DC movies, and they're all really good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think I watched what's that really popular one? The Laughing Joke or the
Killing Joke?
Thank you.
Yeah, the
Killing
Laughing Joke. Yeah.
The Laughing Joke, because it had Mark Hamill
as the Joker
in it, and I watched that one on a plane one time. It is. I can't remember what I thought of it, but yeah, I watched that one on a plane one time. Actually, I think I thought that was pretty good.
I watched that kind of recently, maybe like a month or so ago, because I read the comic a lot, quite a while ago, and then I wanted a refresher. So the movie,
right?
Movie's really well done too.
That's where it shows like the Joker's past, right, with the Red Hood and all that.
Did the movie show that? I don't know if the movie did.
I believe the movie went into it with the Red Hood and stuff.
Okay.
And it showed him at like a circus and stuff like that, and like it's the Red Hood.
Oh, I see.
I think. Or maybe
I remember.
Wrong. I don't know. I thought that was in there.
I think there was another movie where I watched where it was they were wearing, it's like a red helmet kind of thing, right? But it covers like the
big red helmet. Yeah.
I thought that was another movie. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough, but you could be right. Another. Sorry, I just thought I'd mention this, but Batman: Mask of the Phantasm is something that I watched a lot as a kid and I really liked, and I'd want to watch it again. But I remember hearing on the Weekly Planet that they talked about that, and they also thought that was one of the better Batman movies too. So, if you're in the market for watching a Batman animated movie, watch Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah. Didn't they mention? Isn't there actually like a new DC television show right now with all the Batman villains in it?
Oh, really? Ooh.
Maybe, or is it Mask of the Phantasm? I don't know. I thought there was one, and who played the Joker?
It's a series?
I thought so. Batman series
2020.
Yeah, it was like a new series. It was kind of like it wasn't necessarily serious. I think it was kind of funny. Comedic. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm butchering this. I don't know much about DC. I wish I knew what I was talking about on this.
Could it?
Oh, it's some kind of like show. that was like comedic. I wish I could remember one of the actors that were in it, but there was a bunch of actors and they were all really good. There's a Harley Quinn in it though, and there's somebody who plays Joker, and
It's okay.
Finally.
Don't worry about it. Don't stress out.
yeah.
It's not worth the stress.
Yep, I don't know. Can't find
Yeah,
it.
that's fine.
I'll bring it up next time when I remember what it is.
Sure.
I'll just send it to you in a message.
Sure, sounds good.
But I did get it from a Weekly Planet podcast. I was listening to them, and they were mentioning it one time. They were talking about the casting and how good it was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Anyways, that's so DC stuff.
Cool. Yeah. So, no talk about Marvel. Today's DC day. Apparently.
DC day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move into our topic of the day. Anth0z, what do you got for me?
Cool. Okay. I actually needed to look into this a little bit. Actually, let me find my quote, but it is related to COVID and just how we're kind of entering into not necessarily new territory, but it's going to be different territory, just because as we come to the end of summer, we're moving into a lot of people going back to school, a lot of kids going back to like elementary and high school, and then also that being that it's the fall, so school opens up, kids started to gather, which means more exposure for them, but also more exposure for the parents when the kids come back to school. And then also we are not too far off from coming into winter when we go back to flu season. And actually I just heard this from my wife's sister, but she was talking about the implications of when we get to that point when the days are getting shorter and people have to stay in more, and then it's kind of the balance of how do you have like proper mental health without having to stay in so much, because we're meant to be with other people kind of thing. So but I wanted to bring this up, and credit to my wife for bringing this up, because I hadn't heard it, but Dr. Bonnie Henry was I think she was kind of responding to some people talking about what they want for the city, or sorry, what they want for the province in order to just manage the pandemic a little bit more over here. But so Dr. Bonnie Henry, and for those who don't know, Dr. Bonnie Henry is she is like pretty much BC's main health minister for that we listen for news like every day. And so she said, the quote is that shutting down is not an answer to things. So I think the point is that we've slowly opened up like businesses, half capacity, parks are opening up again, and all that kind of stuff. And now we're starting to see the increase in cases and spikes, and getting to the point where it's almost back to where we used to be in the beginning of this, when we were unsure about what was going on. So her statement was shutting down is not an answer to things. I think some people would disagree with that and saying, well, shutting down would help us to deter people from getting exposed, right? But I don't know. What are your thoughts on going into this next possible wave of, like, it's supposed to be the second wave, but what are your thoughts on going into it, and what do you think seems more of like a feasible way to be dealing with this as a province?
I honestly have no idea. I mean, I'm not a medical professional in any way, so don't take anything I say to heart, but it's just my thoughts. I just feel like students should be in school. I think we should try to keep students in school and their lives as normal as it can be. I do think youth in general should just have their lives day to day as normal as it can be, based on COVID deaths and the actual susceptibility of ages. I think if you're, healthy and under, let's just arbitrarily throw out 40 or 50, if you're under those ages and you're healthy, generally I think you're fine to still go about your day to day and do the normal things you were doing pre-COVID. I just think you have to be more mindful, though, about the people you're seeing after that. Anybody who has health conditions shouldn't be around those kinds of people, and anybody who is at a certain age, let's arbitrarily again throw 50 or over, should stay away from those people. And obviously it sucks, and that's where the social distancing comes from. But I think schools should go back to full force how they were, and kids, like, there's already flu season for kids enough anyways. Like, there's so much of kids passing on things to other kids. Or I should say students passing things on to other students. If your kid wasn't really all that healthy to begin with, and they were really susceptible to bad things, you probably wouldn't put them into school during flu season. Before COVID was even a thing, you probably wouldn't have. You probably would have taken that step to be better with it. So these days, I see, why is it any different with COVID for your child, especially with the numbers so low on anybody who's young, and if they are young, they usually have some kind of pre-existing medical condition before they die from COVID. So I don't know. I'm more of the mind of make students go back to school the way they were. I don't think the economy and the education system and our government, I don't think everything should just crash because of this COVID. That being said, I think there should be a lot of focus and emphasis on retirement communities and hospitals and just anywhere where there's going to be the elderly people, because they are quite affected by this disease, obviously. And anybody who's susceptible. So it sucks that it means that you don't get to see grandma, every now and then, which is really frustrating and can be annoying for everybody, but at the same time, that you're doing it because you don't want her to get sick.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I totally agree on the fact that obviously the focus should be more towards like the healthcare system. My wife's sister also, what do I call her? My sister-in-law. That makes more sense than just saying my wife's sister all the time. So my sister-in-law was saying that, that time is going to test the healthcare system more so because, as we enter flu season, then we have more occurrences of people exhibiting similar symptoms, because either way, like if you have flu-like symptoms, it's going to be something that is like a cold. So you could be coughing, sore throat, the works and stuff, like maybe headaches. People, there's so many variations of the symptoms and combinations that how do you, are you going to have to end up testing for everybody? Like somebody has a cough but they get progressively worse, then do you have to test them for the flu and do you have to test them for COVID? And I think it becomes a thing of can you really exhaust those many resources during that time? And
right.
So it's going to be, I can see why that would be a very difficult thing, because if somebody who has COVID, you want to be able to assess them and quarantine them as soon as possible, and you don't want to the resources are limited, right? So I can see why as going into that next phase, it's going to test healthcare system, but I think it's also going to, I don't know, you're right, people have to be mindful of others. I think that's always been the case, and that's still the case now, that when you're going around, that you can't, I guess it just doesn't seem fair to live your life as if you're in your own shell and you don't care about anybody else or anybody else's well-being, because I feel like whether or not we're in COVID, that's just my opinion, but that should always be the case. You should always care about other people, right?
For sure.
And then it just happens to be now there's something that is more prevalent going around that affects more people directly, that gives more reason for the need to be mindful of other people. So, but in terms of my response to Dr. Bonnie Henry's statement about how shutting down things is not the answer, I don't even really, I guess I have mixed feelings. I don't really know what the correct answer is, only because I guess even though, so it's August now, the first case was end of November or sometime in December, but we didn't really have state of emergency until March. So, I mean, it's been 3/4 of at least half a year going through this, and it still seems like we're always in new territory. So shutting down everything, who knows, maybe it could work, or maybe it could just make everybody go crazy, and then economy collapses.
Yeah, maybe it's making things worse. Yeah.
It's so hard to say.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it is hard to say, and I don't like the idea of flu season coming back in September. Or I was talking to a teacher recently, and she was saying that Thanksgiving is when, or Canadian Thanksgiving at least, is when flu season really hits hard. Everyone sees family, and then everyone gets really sick. And the schools, it's always everybody's really sick from Canadian Thanksgiving to Halloween.
Yeah.
And she was predicting, she's like, well, what's going to happen there is everyone gets flu, and then it's going to show symptoms of COVID, and it's going to have all these COVID numbers that are going to spike up. And then Halloween will be canceled, and the schools will most likely get shut down by the end of October.
Oh.
And I was like, and that's her opinion, of course, but I was like, I can see that happening, though, and that's what I don't want to see happening, is the flu numbers skyrocketing the COVID numbers to then shutting down the economy again.
Yeah,
right. And It doesn't benefit us as a country to move forward to get out of these things when we shut down the country. Now I totally understand that was one way to try to mitigate it, and maybe a temporary shutdown or a shutdown with a time limit is better. But I really don't like it when it's uncertain. When it's uncertain like that, it doesn't provide any hope for anybody, and we all just feel like we don't know what the answer is.
Well, yeah, and so I think that's actually a good thing to bring up, that like you shut down things, but like then what are the implications? Not necessarily on the economy, but yeah, like the people. So the people then begin to question like, oh, so what now? What am I supposed to do? Like I'm stuck. Like I can't do my thing, and then it's almost like life becomes so drastically changed that there is like a new focus on how to live your life, like in a completely different way. Whereas maybe it would be much more suitable if, you don't shut things down, but you still have these health like practices in place where, for example, like we have the half capacity rule for restaurants and other and like events, because at least that way, people still get a chance to like they're still being mindful, but they still get a chance to live some closer variation of a normal life. And I think it almost makes more sense to me, like knowing that it's so uncertain when like the pandemic is really going to be over. Like it seems like it wouldn't be over until we actually get vaccines. Otherwise there's without a cure, it seems like it could just keep going on and spreading from person to person until whenever. So knowing that it's going to be such an extensive length of time where we'd have to endure life that way, it makes more sense to, I guess maybe like from a mental health perspective, maybe it makes more sense to live life with guidelines as opposed to complete shutdown, right? It's just easier. It's like more flexible,
Like if it was to say, okay, like right now, this is what we expect. So therefore, for the next 3 weeks, we are shutting down. And if in those 3 weeks, scenario A happens, then it's done. Or we're going to move on to like a phase 2 or phase 3, phase 4,
Yeah.
But if scenario B happens, we're going to continue this shutdown for another 3 weeks and then reevaluate then. And if they had, like if it was that planned out, we would all feel a lot better. We'd be like, okay, we're on week 1, we're on week 2, we're on week 3, we're on week 4. Like we'd know exactly where we are in the steps. But yeah, since it does change so radically all the time, we just don't really know. And yeah, the feeling of uncertainty is what makes everyone so freaked out.
Yeah. And I like your idea though of like implementing some sort of plan where you meet these goals before the next phase comes over, because then I guess having those expectations helps with people being able to work towards it. But then at the same time, like you said, with the uncertainty, and with things erratically changing so much, like say we're getting close to meeting those goals and we see it, and all of a sudden something happens and it goes completely back, like it backfires, and then now everybody's all let down. So it seems like it's so difficult just to say exactly what it is that we need, but at the same time, unless everybody works together, if there's so much discrepancy between people, it almost seems like that in and of itself is going to be kind of like an underlying cause for why it lasts that much longer.
Right. And I don't know. We just get misinformation all over the place too, so it's hard to know what's right and what's wrong. One minute they tell you masks are mandatory or we need masks, and then the next moment they say make sure only medical professionals are getting masks, and then they say masks aren't that important, and then they say we need masks. Yeah. You're just kind of like, wait, what? And like while I was camping actually earlier, I went and had to go to a gas station for a second. When I walked in on the clerk talking to a person there. Neither of them had masks on. And they were both talking about how useless the masks were. And I was like, it's just frustrating when, like, I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah. I haven't done the research myself. But it's like, it's just frustrating that these are the conversations going on that no one knows. Yeah. It's like, I'm also camping. I don't want to think about COVID. But of course, like, you walk into a gas station and it's what everyone's talking about. It's like, nobody knows the answers. Nobody knows what's going on. And it's very, disheartening, I guess. Yeah. So I would like... The best way to get out of that, like I said, is set a goal. And it doesn't mean you have to reach the goal, but just set a goal and set like realistic scenarios to get to that goal. And if everyone is clear on that, then we can, like you said, we can at least all work together at the goal and feel more like, I don't know, feel more like a giant community on this,
providing that everybody is willing to work together. Like having everybody on the same page.
A global pandemic should be unifying in all the good ways. I don't mean for that to sound bad, but you know when like a storm happens, a storm hits, and then the village gets together and they rebuild the church or something, right? Like it's like whenever there's some kind of crazy event like that happens, that's when a town really works hard together, and you get to see all these acts of great people doing great things.
Yeah.
And we have a global epidemic right now, so it's almost like the whole world as one should be working really hard together. But I don't know. I don't think that's the people's fault that it's not working. I think it's that there's been zero direction.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say zero, but it does feel like that.
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of, sure, yeah, it makes sense. Like if the people aren't able to, I guess, gather, like support each other in the same way, like be on the same page, work together. It could be like as like influenced by the idea that like each nation is not working consistently with each other either, right? Like everybody's dealing with their own thing, and so globally, when you look at it at that scale, everybody is compared like at a different rate. Like like the States is worse than us, but then some parts of Asia are way better than we are because they are just used to handling, or maybe not used to, but they were able to handle things better than we have. So
New Zealand had like 4 people get COVID.
Yeah, is that still the case? I guess maybe I haven't really paid attention.
it was like one family that had gone away and they got COVID, so they self-quarantined. But they they shut down New Zealand when the 4 people got COVID. I was like, oh my gosh, New Zealand.
Wow, nice. Okay, well, I mean, I guess it worked for them.
Yeah,
but specifically for their situation, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that I was thinking is interesting is that when we probably around the time when we first started talking about this, like we didn't talk about this too much on the podcast, but we've had a couple episodes now. But I think one of the first ones we talked about how, you go to Superstore or like whatever grocery store and all the toilet paper sold out and all the tissues are sold out, and everybody's trying to scramble for masks, and people are trying to resell masks at like a marked up rate and stuff, and people are getting fined for selling masks, like reselling the masks. So yeah, now you can walk into a store. Like I've been to Costco so many times in the past like couple months that I see, I've seen like all the stacks of like masks that you can just buy, like the not surgical, but like the
blue ones.
Those masks, and now they're selling like cotton masks. So it's interesting that this is like it's actually become a thing where you can expect to see those kind of things. Right, when that was never a thing. Now they're like near the front door, like, oh, make sure you got your mask, and all the attendants ready to like give you like a Lysol wipe and stuff. It's
we all adapted pretty quickly to all that, I guess. Yeah,
and so maybe that's even more reason to promote the idea of like not shutting down. Like we've already adapted to this point, right? Now it's just a matter of like what can we adapt to next? Like what is the next step for us in order to be able to continue to live through this in a safe way, but still being mindful and still being safe. So I feel like it's all also very experimental for everybody, right? Maybe.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, people are smart and we do adapt well, and for all the bad, there has been good. So hopefully we can keep going forward, and eventually COVID will be just something similar to a seasonal flu. And yeah, I don't know if like we'll go back to what we had before. I think it will just kind of migrate its way into our daily lifestyle. We just have COVID, come in waves as it goes.
Yeah.
And I think we'll realize at that moment that it is much more about the elderly generations of people. Like the average death for COVID is also, what was it? It was like the average age you're at when you die of COVID was also like a number higher than the average life expectancy of a person here. So like the high counts of people dying are quite old.
Okay.
Doesn't make it good. Obviously, it doesn't make it good, but it's mostly targeting the elderly, and it sucks for the elderly. But it's just it just means that we'll have to be more mindful when we go visit grandma around the seasonal times. And I think as the years go on, that's what it'll look like. It's like, oh, it's September or it's October. Okay, well, maybe we don't have that family visit because she's really susceptible to getting something.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, just make sure you wash your hands a lot when you're around grandma, or just something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think that's a more realistic future we see than just going right back to how it was. Now, that's like the disease side of things. The other side is the economy. I think the economy should go back to how it was. I think that the stores should go back to how it was. I don't think that they need to be as crazy as they are with masks and hand sanitizer and all that kind of stuff. Those are great to have, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they need to stay that way indefinitely. I think that they can eventually go back to regular full capacity restaurants and whatnot.
Yeah.
And movie theaters. I think we're all fine on that. We just have to be more mindful now that this is out there in the world and it's going to be here.
Yeah, exactly. I think exactly. Eventually it would be great for everybody to get to that point. But I feel like it's not that the facilities aren't ready for that. I think it's just the people. Like you said, like you went to the gas station and the two people, like they weren't wearing masks because they thought like it wouldn't work, right? So I think that like, you have a whole bunch of people that think like that and go to a theater, and I think that's what creates the increase in probability, right? That it's gatherings of people who are less likely to be mindful of other people. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, like the restaurants, like, okay, I haven't also done my research, so I don't know what the likelihood is of if you walk by somebody's table, of you getting it or spreading it to somebody else, because from what I understand, it's supposed to be based on, like, it could be things that you touch, I guess, but more so based on, like, if you cough or sneeze towards somebody's general direction.
I believe it's more airborne, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, you go to some restaurants and you, like, they're not so tight quarters already, but I don't know, maybe there's a thing there, but either way, I think, yeah, the facilities themselves, I think it's a lot more easy for them to be prepared to host more people than it is to get a bunch of like-minded people who are mindful of others in order to go to those facilities and be safe, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so I just thought it was an interesting thing, just knowing that we're, like, summer's coming to an end, and it's not a shift for everybody, but it's a shift for us because my wife, being a teacher, like, she hasn't been in school for the past couple months, and she was just teaching so March we had her spring break, and then after that she was working, like, teaching from home until June. So that was April, May. So that's 2 months. Yeah, 2 months of, like, working from home, and then 1 month going to school, and now 2 months off again. So it's been kind of like, this back and forth and just getting used to the situation. So now it's September. It's going to be everybody as a whole getting used to, like, a brand new situation. So it's just interesting to think about as we're moving into that. And I'm very curious to see what how it's going to look for everybody. Like, what do we adapt to next? So yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah. I know. I'm curious too. I don't know what to expect. I've been wrong about COVID many times already. So, whatever I expect, I feel like it's going to be the opposite of that. But yeah.
I mean, so yeah, in terms of things that we've also adapted to, like, I've seen a lot of people celebrating stuff online, right? So I've seen, like, graduations online. I've seen people do online weddings, which is interesting.
Right.
Yeah. So I think at the least, it's nice to see that people are able to figure out how to make things work for them, given the situation. But that said, like, everybody, it's obviously, like, a general statement, but everybody has different needs, right? So how could we do our best to support each other through it with all the different needs? Yeah. Anyway, that's my topic. Thanks for indulging me in a little COVID talk.
No problem.
Cool.
COVID talk. Welcome back to COVID talk. Anth0z and Mattbrush.
Part 3, I think.
Yeah, I think this is our third COVID topic.
Yeah. I'll try to tone it down, but yeah.
No, that's fine. No, it's something it's a big event that's still going on now. So, It's like an update on COVID.
Yeah, we're just documenting so that later on we'll see how many COVID episodes we're gonna have just throughout the years. Yeah.
We'll have one at the end where it's like the ending of COVID.
Yeah, it'll just be COVID compilation.
Highlights from COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's the end.
Cool. All right.
Well, Anth0z, where can the audience find you?
Well, if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Anth0z1. That's at Anth0z1.
And if you want to find me, you can also find me on Twitter at Mattbrush Gaming, or you can find this podcast in video format on YouTube at Mattbrush Gaming. It's under the Scumm podcast.
Probably.
That's what it's probably titled. I think we have a playlist there for Scumm podcast. You can go on it, find the most recent episode. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment, give us a star, a thumbs up. Give us
a face mask. Give us
a face mask. Give us a face slap.
Tissue, toilet paper,
hand sanitizer.
Now they're easy to find, but it's just good to share. Sharing is caring. That's all.
If you want to write us your favorite COVID story, you can send us an email at thescumbbarpodcast@gmail.com. We'll read it on our next COVID episode.
Yes, which maybe that'll be during the next phase. Who knows?
Yeah. And if you want to listen to this as a regular podcast on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, you can listen to us
everywhere.
On anywhere. We're on any of your favorite podcasting platforms.
Just ask Google, ask Alexa, ask
Siri,
Fred,
Flintstone,
Steve, just,
Michael next door.
Ask everybody.
He knows.
Yeah.
The Scumm podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Anth0z, I believe you had a special something you wanted to say to a special someone. Take it away.
Well, friend, again I say adieu. But for now, we wait until the time is past the flu. So be safe, stay healthy, be mindful of what's at stake, and always be sure that when you go out, wear a mask, but take it off to eat your steak.
You just rhymed steak with steak.
Did I? Or did I rhyme steak? I rhymed steak with steak.
Did you?
I think,
steak with
right?
steak?
Didn't I? I pulled
Oh,
a
maybe you did.
Kanye West. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think. Yeah. That's what he does. He rhymes steak and steak and Mike and glass and glass. I think.
Yeah, Kanye.
Kanye.
I mean, he's been successful. Good job, Kanye.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah,
I'm not listening to that stuff.
No. Oh, Kanye.
Kanye. All right,
Okay,
everybody.
bye.
Have a good one.